Hello, warriors. Surviving depression is an experiment. Depression and anxiety, for that matter. I just had a tiny relapse where I was feeling really, really anxious, and then I went back on my anxiety medication, and that actually made me feel depressed. So I will actually make another video about that particular medication, and because I think that was one of the things that made my mental breakdown that I had last year worse, and I'm just noticing it now. Anyway, that's not the focus of this video. The focus of this video is this idea. Recovering from depression, recovering from mental illness is an experiment. And I know this might sound a bit too light, especially if you're suicidal. You don't want to experiment. That's the last thing you want to do. You just want to out of this misery, out of this pain. But it is inevitable. This is a trial and error process because it's a really personal thing. So what might work for me, I could stand here and say, yeah, these things work for me. And there's kind of some things that work and that help everyone, like exercise, therapy, etc. But at the end of the day, there's going to be a lot of things that are going to only work for you. So you will have to experiment. Inevitably, the first thing you have to do is go see a therapist. And guess what? Some therapists are assholes, or some therapists are not going to be fit for you. So you're going to have to experiment with that. It's annoying, it's horrible, but don't get too motivated, because a lot of people, what happens to them is that they see one therapist and then they say, oh, all therapists are idiots, or therapy is not for me. That's wrong. Therapists are people like you and me who make mistakes, and some of them are just not good at their jobs. That's just the thing. The same goes for psychiatrists. A lot of psychiatrists just don't give a fuck about their patients. I had my share of this experience. And also, the same goes to medication. So you can go to a psychiatrist, he can prescribe you something, this thing doesn't work, and then maybe the psychiatrist is going to say, well, this is what I had, sorry, but I don't have anything else anymore. That happened to me in the past. And don't just stand there and accept it. If you're still depressed, if you're still suicidal, if you're still having this crippling anxiety, go to another psychiatrist. Don't stop. Every day, this is a job, this is a task that you have to do. Every day you have to do something to make yourself feel better. Don't just stand there. People don't give a fuck about you, and doctors don't give a fuck about you. So it's up to you to make those decisions. If you don't like a doctor, go see another doctor. If you don't take a medication, go see about another medication. And then the final thing about experimenting is what you should do. A lot of people are going to tell you you should meditate, or you should go out and see people, or you should do this and do that. It's true that these things are kind of universal, because meditation will calm your spirit, and it will help you calm your mind, and it will help you with your anxiety, which normally comes side to side with depression. Sports can activate you a bit, and it can also help you. But what kind of sports? It's up to you to decide, and then you have to make experiments again. For example, when I was having my mental breakdown, I know that I love jogging, and I still do it now. But what really helped me, for some reason, was hiking. Hiking, especially in the nature, just spending the whole time walking in the nature. I was deeply, deeply suicidal, and the first day that I didn't feel suicidal was when I spent the whole day outside the city walking in the nature, just because my head started thinking in a different way. For you, it might be something else. So, of course, another crucial thing is seeing people. Normally, isolating yourself when you're depressed just makes matters worse. But, what kind of people should you see? Because some people are toxic to you. And maybe in this process, you're going to find out that being next to certain people is not productive to you, on the contrary. So again, you have to experiment, you have to see, you have to test your friends, you have to test your family, you have to test how you feel in the presence of these people to see, okay, maybe now I shouldn't see more of this person while I'm feeling in this state, maybe I should see more of this person. And I know this seems hard, because sometimes when we're very depressed, major depression can create suicidality and we don't have time. But you have to keep going and you have to keep experimenting. And of course, the final experiment is check yourself into a mental hospital if you have to. And just because you go to a mental hospital doesn't mean you have to stay there forever. This is not a horror movie. There's a lot of people who go, there's a lot of people who do it. I personally never did. But if I would have to do it, I would have to do it. No problem. You have to keep on fighting. And keeping on fighting is to keep on experimenting and seeing what's best for you. Don't let anyone else decide. I mean, people can give you suggestions, but at the end of the day, it's your job. Even if you feel so bad, it's your job to take these suggestions and think, okay, I have to do this, I have to do that. This is what I feel is best for you. And sometimes it's your instinct that is going to tell you what is best for you as well. In my case as well, I felt like traveling would do me a lot of good. So I made some travels, and actually they really helped me in this process. So this idea actually of the experiments, I know it might feel a bit discouraging, like, because I cannot give you an absolute definite solution for your problem. I don't think anyone can, but actually it should not discourage you. It should help you. It should encourage you to see that there are things out there, there are solutions out there. And just because your medication doesn't work, just because your therapist doesn't work, just because whatever you did is not working, doesn't mean it won't. Doesn't mean anything else won't. You can and you should keep trying, experimenting with different things. Okay? I wish you very good luck and happy healings in this process. Bye.